Good evening, and welcome to the Crypto Overnighter. I'm Nicodemus, and I will be your host as we take a look at the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. So sit back, relax, and let's get started. And remember, none of this is financial advice. And it's 10 p.m. Pacific on Thursday, July 27th, 2023. Welcome back to the Crypto Overnighter, where we have no sponsors, no hidden agendas, and no BS. But we do have the news, so let's get to that. Tonight, we're diving into a whirlwind of stories that are shaking up the crypto world. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is betting big on Bitcoin, not only for himself, but also for his kids. We're also getting up close and personal with the former CEO of FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried, who's caught in a legal tussle with the U.S. Department of Justice. The U.S. House is making strides in crypto legislation, but not without some drama. Binance is navigating a regulatory storm, pulling out of Germany, but vowing to comply with European regulations. Canada's OSFI is laying out new guidelines for banks and insurers dealing with crypto assets. And lastly, we'll be looking into the SEC's charges against blockchain security firm Quantstamp over an unauthorized ICO. Buckle up, it's going to be a wild ride. In a recent Twitter Spaces event, Democratic U.S. presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. made a surprising revelation. He confirmed that he purchased 14 Bitcoin. 2 for each of his 7 children. This disclosure followed financial documents filed in June 2023, which indicated his ownership over the leading cryptocurrency. Kennedy's decision to invest in Bitcoin was not without controversy. After making pro-Bitcoin remarks at the Bitcoin Miami conference in May, he faced intense scrutiny from both cryptocurrency industry experts and the mainstream media. Despite this criticism, Kennedy stood firm in his belief in the potential of Bitcoin to revolutionize the financial landscape. Kennedy's decision to invest in Bitcoin was not a spontaneous one. After receiving a substantial payment following the Bitcoin conference, he decided to invest it in the digital asset himself. He stated, quote, "Right after that Bitcoin conference, I got a big check. And I said, okay, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. And so I bought 2 Bitcoin for every one of my 7 children. As of now, the price of Bitcoin stands at $29,468, making Kennedy's investment worth $412,552. Kennedy's stance on Bitcoin goes beyond personal investment. During the same interview, he outlined his vision for the future, expressing his intention to back the US dollar with Bitcoin and to grant the digital asset exemption from capital gains taxes if he were to be elected president. His bold proposals have resonated with the crypto community, attracting fervent supporters who believe in the potential of blockchain technology and digital currencies to reshape the financial landscape. Kennedy also addressed environmental criticisms of Bitcoin, which he believes are largely unfounded and serve to obscure the real motives for suppressing Bitcoin. In his words, Bitcoin threatens the monopoly on money. He further discussed how fiat currencies have enabled governments to finance never-ending wars and unwarranted environmental initiatives, attributing these detrimental consequences to the terrible outcomes of fiat currency. Kennedy's Bitcoin investment and his strong stance on crypto-related policies have undoubtedly earned him a dedicated following among those who share his vision for a crypto-friendly future. His assertive tone and strong emphasis on the audience's viewpoints, enthusiastic about cryptocurrency and distrustful of central bank digital currencies, governments, and central banks, resonate with the sentiments of many in the crypto community. Moving on from the Kennedys and onto a showdown that's proving to be quite a spectacle. If you thought the Wild West was behind us, think again. Our next story involves SBF and the DOJ. And if you like what you're hearing, folks, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. In a series of events that have been unfolding over the last week, Sam Bankman-Fried, the former CEO of FTX, found himself in the crosshairs of the U.S. Department of Justice. The DOJ accused Sam of leaking the private diary of a former colleague, Caroline Ellison, to the media. Ellison, who ran FTX's sister trading company, Alameda Research, pled guilty to multiple charges last year. The situation escalated when the federal judge issued a gag order on Sam, limiting him from speaking publicly about his case to the media. That order, issued by Judge Lewis Kaplan, prohibits the parties in this case, their attorneys, and their agents from publicly disseminating or discussing anything about the case. However, the order does not apply to assertions of innocence. The case took a dramatic turn when Assistant U.S. Attorney Danielle Sassoon requested the revocation of SBF's bail based on allegations he used his freedom to intimidate Ellison. Sassoon claimed that SBF made roughly 100 calls to a reporter behind the New York Times story that revealed Ellison's private online journals. Kaplan will reportedly accept arguments from the U.S. government and from SBF's legal team on whether to revoke his bail. The case has raised eyebrows in the crypto community. not just because of the high-profile nature of the accused, but also due to the implications it has for the broader crypto industry. The fact that a former CEO of a major crypto exchange is facing such serious allegations could have significant repercussions for the perception and regulation of the industry. Now, let's get to the heart of the matter. The government's aggressive pursuit of Bankman-Fried shows us the regulatory scrutiny that the crypto industry is under. It's a wake-up call for those who believe the crypto world can operate outside the purview of government oversight. But it's also a rallying cry for those who see this as an overreach by the government and attempt to stifle innovation and control a sector that threatens the traditional financial system. From courtroom dramas, we pivot to political maneuvers. Next up, we're heading over to Capitol Hill, where the House is backing a new crypto bill. But before we get into that, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that follow button. Trust me, you do not want to miss out on the latest and greatest in crypto news. In a significant development for the crypto industry, the U.S. House Financial Services Committee has advanced a bipartisan bill aimed at establishing a regulatory framework for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. This move is seen as a major step toward codifying federal oversight for the digital asset industry, providing much-needed clarity and regulation for investors and the industry as a whole. The bill, which was passed by the House Financial Services Committee, seeks to define whether a cryptocurrency should be classified as a security or a commodity. It also aims to expand the Commodity Futures Trading Commission's oversight of the crypto market while clarifying the SEC's jurisdiction. This comes in response to concerns over the SEC's perceived overreach, which has been a point of contention among crypto advocates. The bill's received considerable support from the crypto industry and, with backing from Democrats, stands a good chance of making progress in the Senate. However, not all Democrats are in favor of the bill. Representative Maxine Waters, the top Democrat on the FSC, opposes this legislation, arguing that it would create more confusion and provide fewer protections for consumers and investors compared to the current regulatory landscape. In addition to the landmark crypto bill, lawmakers are set to consider another bill that aims to have the Federal Reserve establish requirements for issuing stablecoins while preserving state regulators' authority. This bill has been modified to address concerns from Democrats who fear the stablecoin issuers could potentially evade stricter oversight by opting for state-level regulation. Despite ongoing negotiations and differing views, the industry is celebrating the FIT for the First Century Act. Jerry Brito, the executive director of Coin Center, celebrated the bipartisan passage, stating, "There's a lot of good in the bill. Most importantly, it honors the rights of individuals to write and use cryptocurrency software." Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong encouraged all to support the bill, emphasizing that it represents an essential step in securing regulatory clarity for the industry, protecting American innovation and national security. From the House to the House of Crypto, Binance, the rollercoaster ride never ends. They found themselves in the midst of a regulatory storm. But hold that thought. If you're enjoying our deep dives into the world of crypto, don't forget to subscribe. Now let's jump into the eye of the storm. Binance has withdrawn from the German regulator BaFin's licensing process. Binance confirmed this move, stating that the global market and regulatory situation has significantly changed. However, they do still intend to apply for the appropriate licensing in Germany, ensuring that their submission accurately reflects these changes. This move comes in the wake of a report by German publication Finance Forward, which stated that BaFin had decided not to grant Binance a crypto custody license. Binance, however, maintained that discussions were still ongoing. The company is grappling with mounting regulatory challenges, not just in Europe, but across the globe. Binance has exited the Netherlands, re-registered entities in Cyprus and the UK, withdrawn its license application in Austria, and was ordered to stop operating in Belgium. It has reportedly faced an investigation in France for alleged money laundering. Binance and its CEO, Changpeng Zhao, are also facing lawsuits from U.S. regulators. Binance's regulatory woes are a reflection of the changing landscape of the crypto industry. Governments and regulatory bodies worldwide are tightening their grip on crypto exchanges and other related businesses, pushing for more transparency and compliance with finance laws. Binance, like many other crypto companies, is caught in this wave of regulatory scrutiny. Despite these challenges, Binance is not backing down. The company has stated its commitment to becoming fully compliant with the markets and crypto assets, that's the European Union's regulations, when they are fully implemented in the next 18 months. Binance is focusing on having fewer regulated entities in the EU, particularly in its larger registered markets where it already has a mature footprint, including France, Italy, and Spain. The ongoing saga of Binance's regulatory challenges is a reminder to us of the volatile nature of the crypto industry. While the promise of financial freedom and decentralization is enticing, it is clear that the road to achieving these goals is fraught with legal and regulatory hurdles. Because while we may be enthusiastic about the potential of crypto, we must also be mindful of the realities of operating within the existing financial system. The governments and central banks are the very entities that these companies must navigate to operate successfully. It is a delicate balance, and one that will undoubtedly continue to shape the future of the crypto industry. As we navigate the stormy seas of crypto, let's head north to Canada, where they're laying out some new guidelines for banks and insurers dealing with crypto assets. If you're enjoying the journey so far, do hit that like button and let us know. Onwards to the Great White North. Canada's financial regulator, the Office of the Superintendent of Financial Institutions, or OSFI, proposed some stringent new guidelines for banks and insurance companies dealing with crypto assets. The OSFI is advising these institutions on how to handle the capital and liquidity risks that come with crypto assets. They're saying that these new rules are a reflection of an evolving risk environment and international developments. The guidelines are split into two parts, one for banks and the other for insurers. The proposal suggests that crypto assets should be divided into two broad groups. The first group includes tokenized traditional assets and stablecoins. The second group is for unbacked crypto assets. Banks are advised to limit their exposure to unbacked crypto assets to no more than 1%. The guidelines also provide an example of how banks should consider the risk weighting of tokenized and traditional assets. For instance, a tokenized corporate bond held in the banking book should have the same risk weight as the non-tokenized corporate bond in the banking book. But they also point out that a tokenized asset might have a different market liquidity situation than traditional non-tokenized assets. The OSFI also addressed the speed at which creditors could take possession of crypto asset collateral. They're advising banks to assess whether crypto asset collateral can be liquidated in a way that meets legal certainty requirements. The OSFI's guidelines are an update to proposals released by the Basel Committee on Banking Supervision in December 2022. The OSFI says it adapted these proposals to reflect the Canadian context in the specific industry for which the guideline was developed, be it banking or insurance. The banking guideline reflects the December 22 Basel Committee on Banking Supervision standard, and the insurance guideline incorporates relevant parts of the Basel standard with adjustments for the specific context of the insurance industry. These guidelines are currently open for consultation until September 20th. After that, they're expected to come into effect the first quarter of 2025. So here's my take on it. This move by the Canadian regulator is another sign of the growing recognition of crypto assets in the financial world, but it also shows that regulators are still cautious about the risks associated with crypto. The proposed guidelines could potentially limit the growth of capital in the traditional banking sector, especially with the 1% exposure limit for unbacked crypto assets. This could be seen as a move to protect the financial system from potential crypto market volatility. But on the flip side, it could also stifle innovation and limit the potential benefits of integrating crypto into the traditional financial system. From Canada's cold climes, we move on to a story that's heating up. The SEC slammed Quantstamp over an unauthorized ICO. Remember to subscribe if you haven't yet, folks. We've got these hot stories coming for you every night. The U.S. Securities Exchange Commission charged Quantstamp over an unauthorized initial coin offering. That ICO raised a whopping $28 million back in 2017. The SEC's beef with Quantstamp is that the San Francisco-based firm allegedly conducted this ICO without registering it. The ICO involved the sale of crypto asset securities, and the SEC settlement now requires Quantstamp to refund the proceeds of the ICO. So what does the settlement look like? Quantstamp agreed to pay a disgorgement of nearly $2 million, prejudgment interest of around $500,000, and a civil penalty of $1 million. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty. According to the SEC's complaint, Quantstamp sold QSP tokens to about 5,000 investors, including those in the United States, back in October and November of 2017. The company had plans to use the proceeds from the ICO to develop and market an automated smart contract security auditing platform. However, the SEC found that Quantstamp failed to register its offers and sales of QSP, which were considered securities. Moreover, the company failed to qualify for any exemption to registration despite filing a Form D claiming that the unregistered sale of QSP was exempt under Rule 506C of Regulation D and under Regulation S. The SEC's order noted that Quantstamp emphasized the large market potential for the smart contract security auditing product it planned to develop. It led QSP purchasers to expect that the value of their tokens would increase with the success of Quantstamp's enterprise, and took steps to make the tokens available for trading on third-party digital asset trading platforms after the ICO. Now, the implications of this? The SEC settlement establishes a fair fund to return monies paid by Quantstamp to injured investors and requires the company to transfer all remaining QSP in its control to the fair fund administrator to be permanently disabled or destroyed. It's important to note that the amount of funds available for distribution may be less than the original investment amount due to factors such as costs of administering the fair fund, the number of eligible investors, and the amount of funds available for distribution. Additionally, Quantstamp must publish notice of the order on its website and convey the order to crypto trading platforms that make QSP available for trading. Overall, the SEC's order is likely to have a significant impact on Quantstamp's future operations. The company will need to take steps to address the concerns raised by the SEC and to ensure that it's fully compliant with regulatory requirements in the future. So, what happened? Robert F. Kennedy Jr. confirmed his hefty investment in Bitcoin, 2 for each of his 7 children. Backing his belief in the potential of Bitcoin, Kennedy's bold stance and his vision for a crypto-friendly future stirred up a dedicated following in the crypto community. Next, Sam Bankman-Fried, former CEO of FTX, is in a hot seat with the U.S. Department of Justice. This case is a glaring reminder of the regulatory scrutiny the crypto industry faces and serves as a wake-up call and a rallying cry for the crypto community. In legislative news, the House Financial Services Committee has advanced a bipartisan bill to establish a regulatory framework for crypto. Despite dissent from some Democrats, this bill is celebrated by crypto advocates as a significant step towards clarity and regulation. Binance, caught in a wave of regulatory scrutiny, has withdrawn from the German financial regulator BaFin's licensing process. Despite these challenges, Binance is committed to becoming fully compliant with the EU's regulations and reminds us of the delicate balance between the promise of crypto and the realities of operating within existing financial systems. Canada's financial regulator, the OSFI, proposed stringent new guidelines for banks and insurance companies dealing with crypto assets. These guidelines could limit the growth of crypto in traditional banking, but also reflects the cautious approach regulators are taking towards the crypto industry. Lastly, the SEC has charged blockchain security firm Quantstamp over an unauthorized ICO. Quantstamp's settlement with the SEC includes a hefty penalty and establishes a fair fund to return monies to injured investors. This case serves as a stark reminder of the regulatory hurdles that crypto businesses face. And that's going to do it for us tonight. I want to thank you, my listeners, because when you stop listening, I will stop talking. If you enjoyed tonight's show, then please like, follow, subscribe, leave a rating, or maybe a review. And in the meantime, we'll see you tomorrow night.